Hi all, in continuation of the previous video, we are now looking forward to have some hands-on. So we'll start with lab, the first lab, and I have named it lab 0, not the lab 1, because we are going to see how we can work with the environment setup. So environment setup would be about the OS based. So if you are on Windows machine, what you can do is you go ahead and open PowerShell, and you can install um the Linux subsystem. So why this actually entire lab matters is what's the use case? If you frankly ask me, then I'll answer this way that since we have the topics covered on AWS, Docker, and other DevOps tools, so every individual who is working on it or every other engineer must be comfortable working inside Linux. Again, this is not the Linux course kind of thing, like where I would tell you the detailed stuff for the Linux environment, considering the OS and of every other issues, but just a high level overview of what you can what you should be aware of actually before jumping onto these use cases of AWS and other stuff. So first option you have for the environment is the WSL, that is Windows Subsystem for Linux. Where if you have Windows system, then you can install your subsystem for Linux on Windows, or else you have the virtual machine, or if you are already onboarded to AWS console, then you can simply launch a EC2 instance Linux based and then start doing the things there. So if you are have Windows, you would like to install subsystem, what you can do, open PowerShell in your Windows and say this WSL and then hyphen hyphen install, and that would install your uh, subsystem. But that would only work if you restart the system once it is done. And once it is back, what you can do is you name hyphen a. What that would do, that would your confirm your Linux kernel, and whether you whatever you use is to check OS compatibility for tools, you can verify that as well. And if you like to have the Linux version check, the command is lsp underscore release. Just a second. Sorry for the time, and then hyphen a. So that would help you to identify the distro, whether it is Ubuntu, Amazon Linux, or any other thing. So it is quite important if you are trying to install packages correctly. And then you can have VM setup like virtual machine, that you can also do. You'll have to just update uh, the apt, uh, that means the package list, and you can prevent the installation errors later. Or you can install basic tools like curl, wget. So curl is basically for your API testing and downloads. Wget is like for downloading the files. If you like to work with version control, git should be there, right? So like this you can install. But since we are not concerned about Windows, we'll talk about Linux, and we already have one Linux provision on Amazon. Since I've been talking about Amazon for quite long, so we have provisioned one instance. We have launched one instance. How to launch the instance? You can go through the playlist. One of the playlists I have for that only. Launch or create EC2. That's on the home page itself. Zero to deploy. AWS projects in 10 days. So you can have a look how to do that. But again, this is not about how to provision EC2 instance. This is all about how to work with Linux if you are going to work with AWS and DevOps. So I am already in. I am connected using Putty. So I am there. So very first thing I'll check, I'll verify where I am currently logged in with. So the command is who am I. So if I say who am I, hit enter, it will give you the user I have logged into through. So EC2 user, and it's already there. If you see EC2 have a user, so we have used EC2 user to log in. So that is important. If you have any user created, you will also have to align the permissions to it. So you should be aware of which user you are working on, working through. And then if you like to remove everything, you say clear, and that would clean your workspace. And then if you like to know how you can what all you have run so far, So you say history, and then you'll get this entire, command history. So that's all. That's for the debug past commands. We run long commands easily, and just for the debugging purpose, history is useful. However, again, I'll do clear. So, however, if you like to know which current directory you are in, so you say pwd. So that would this is not the user you are into, but the directory. So you are into the home directory of EC2 user. So this is the user, and for the home directory, like you, if you are familiar with Windows system, there is a drive C, and then you go to users, and then in users, wherever you are, that is your directory, like downloads, and then home and documents, like that. So in Linux, it works like that. And again, if you have some files created, you do ls. Ls is nothing but the list to see files. But since you don't have anything, so let's suppose if I am creating, suppose I am creating index.html, and if I do now lh, then I would be able to see what files I have in this directory. Okay, so again, I'll do clear, and then uh, there is one more command actually. If I talk about ls-l, what it to do, it would give you the entire, details of the user you are logged in with, and since you are in the home directory, so what files you have there, index.html, and what user permissions you have. So it says read, write, read. So you should be aware of these command sorry, permission codes, and uh, just go through it and try to do it on your own. And let's catch you up in the next lab, lab 1, which will be about our file system. All right, catch you later.